Alright guys, so you want to do a graphic for your production. Okay, so there it is, very simple. And how I do it, I would just go to title and go new title. Now I'm going to just show you a basic default still. Okay, I'll show you the other ones in a sec. Now it's going to define its video settings based on your sequence that you are using. So this one, continuity group 2, it's 920 by 1080 using a 30 frames or 29.97 second frames per second frame rate. I'll call this title. Alright, cool. So this opens up a subprogram in Adobe Premiere, and you can use different types of fonts, different types of styles. You can bring shapes into it, etc. So I'm just going to click and drag a text box, and I'm going to pick a font here that, let's see here. I'll pick a font that probably you have in your computer, like an Arial. Let's see what this font looks like. Now you'll notice the background is essentially the background where my timeline key is, my timeline cursor is. So that doesn't matter because you can always put this graphic anywhere you want. Right, so I can change my fonts, font size. Right, I put this the door opener, and then you see the text hid away. Not a big deal. I'm just going to stretch my text box. Do this center text. Door, and make this red. And you can apply your tracking and kerning typography as well. To your title. Alright, so I'm just going to close it, and you'll notice inside your project bin you have a title. Now you can click and drag it anywhere on your timeline. Okay, now I'm just going to grab all this stuff and just shift it a bit off the timeline. So my title will start with a black screen, and then I'm just going to shrink, change the timing of it. And here's something really cool you might want to use, it's just basic effects. So I'm going to go down to a thing called video transitions. I'm going to go to a simple dissolve, where it'll cross dissolve. Okay. So you'll see the graphic dissolve. Now if I want to change the timing of this, I can go in and reduce the length of this. So bring it back to just a few frames. Alright. Let me just shift this back, bring this forward a bit. And because it's overlapping the other video footage, it'll fade into it, dissolve. Okay. Now if you ever want to make changes, double click the title, it'll pop up. Say you want to bring it down to the bottom left, and you wanted your text to go to the left side. It's up to you how you want to adjust your title. It's your project. Go back in, I'll make it. Okay. And it updates automatically on your timeline. Okay, so that's great. That's just a basic title. You can do some really cool things. Feel free to play around if you want to do other things to it, like drop shadow. Change it to white. Okay. Play with the distance. Cool. Now we just do some ending graphics. Press save in my project. Go to file and sorry, title, new title. I want to do a roll graphic. Let's end it. So what I'll do here is create a text box, and this is going to be interesting because you want your graphics to roll off the screen, right? So I'm going to have my graphics start right here, and I'm going to be creative and do a double tile. So I'm going to have one box here. I'm going to hold Alt and duplicate a second box right here. Okay, and you can say director, and then over here you can type in the person's name. Samuel Adams, for example, and I want to put more emphasis on them, so I'll use the bolder version of that font. Okay, and just make sure you enter the same amount of enters as you can. Okay. Now I'm just going to put a few extra enters here, just so you can see how the roll works. Now, if I were to grab the bottom and stretch it out, okay, you'll see how this works afterwards. Save. Go my project bin, the ending. I'll slap this right here. And you see, because it's coming off the frame, the titles will actually start moving from bottom up. Okay. Anyways, I think that's more than enough for you guys to get a grip of this. You can play around with the editing of the title, save your project, and then export it afterwards.